Watch Me Go Broke, the world's leader in terrible watch reviews and watch comparisons, in association with absolutely no one, brings you another episode of Head to Head. Today's matchup is between the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic and the ISL 40 from LongIslandWatch.com. Who will win? You think you know? Think again. Or better yet, stop thinking and enjoy this mind-numbingly boring comparison of two objects that tell the time. Let's get to it! Alright guys, and welcome to Watch Me Go Broke. Now it's been a little while since I've done a head-to-head, but since I had the Islander Field Watch, the ISL 40, here with me, I could not pass up the opportunity to put it against the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic. Now, on my wrist today is going to be the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. Now, it was a difficult choice of which Hamilton I was going to put up against the Islander. But I figured the Islander was a little bit more close to the Hamilton Khaki Field Automatic, obviously with the automatic movement and the 100 meters of water resistance. I felt like it was a little bit more of a fair comparison than going against the mechanical version. And so I've got 10 categories today to go through. I'm going to try to zip through them. I've got case, dial, movement, versatility, value, durability, wearability, the strap, brand prestige, and of course loom, something that's very important on a field watch. So let's get to category number one, the case. And so starting with the case of the Hamilton, it is a mixture of brushed and polished. The brushing horizontally on the sides, very, very nice. The polished portion is the bezel, which arguably should not be on a field watch, but I feel like this is more of a dress field watch. So yeah, I don't know. Case, very, very slender. Very, very nice. The case back is screw down. It is a display case back, so you're going to be able to see that Hamilton H10 movement. The engraving and everything is all very, very nice on the case. I'm going to give this a 9. And the case is also very, very nice. It is a bit thicker. The movement inside is a little bit thicker than the movement on the Hamilton. Very nice brushing, horizontal brushing along the sides of the case. The case back is another screw-down case back. It is polished. The engraving, not quite as nice as what is on the Hamilton. I don't know, curved down lugs, it all looks great. I don't know, you're not going to see fingerprints or anything. Does it beat the Hamilton? Not quite. I'm going to give it an 8. And staying with the Islander, for round 2, this is going to be the dial, and the dial is really, really great. It is all printed. There is nothing that is applied. There are no raised up areas. It's all flat. Nothing raised up. Even with the coating of the loom, it remains very, very flat. All the Arabic numerals are very crisply printed. You've got that Islander logo just below the 12 o'clock, then automatic 100 meters, 24-hour markers. The printing, very, very good. This dial, and especially with it being white, is very, very legible, and I think it's great. I'm going to give it an 8. And there is the dial on the Hamilton. What can you say about this? This dial is one of the most beautiful dials that you will come across, especially on a field watch. There is a little bit more writing on there. The Hamilton printed just below the 12, very crisp, very simple. Khaki automatic above the 6, 24-hour markers. You've got a graduated minute scale all the way around. You've got the 65, 10, 15, 20-minute markers listed there. It's a beautiful dial. The depth of the centric circle ring, I believe that's what it's called, centric circles, or like a record, if you would indulge me a little bit. That adds quite a bit of depth to the dial. A little bit of sunburst in the center of the dial as well. This dial, it's really unbeatable, man. It is a 10. And so sticking with the Hamilton for the next category, this is the movement. So this is Hamilton's H10 movement. It is a 25 joule movement. It is a modified ETA 2824-2, which generally beats at 28,800 vibrations per hour, but it has been slowed down to 21,600 vibrations per hour to allow for an 80-hour power reserve. So that is something that's really neat in an automatic watch. 80 hours of power reserve. I would say the only issue that I see with this particular movement is the fact that it cannot be regulated by anybody but Hamilton because it uses lasers to regulate it. I think that hurts it, that you're not going to be able to take it to a regular watchmaker and get it serviced. So you're going to have to send it to Hamilton, probably spend a good chunk of dough on that. So really, in that regard, I'm going to give the movement of this a 7, and really only because, it's going to cost you quite a bit to fix this movement. And the movement on the ISL 40 is an NH36A movement. It also beats at 21,600 vibrations per hour. 42-hour power reserve. It's not much to look at. I think it looks great, but this is one of the most reliable movements that you're going to be able to get in really any watch at really any price point. The movement, it's so cheap. I think they're like, between $40 and $50. You can get them everywhere, even off of eBay, places like that. It's not something that you would service. Most likely you would just replace the entire movement. And for that reason, this watch is going to be able to run probably longer than you're alive. So the movement on this one is going to get a 10. And so the next category is versatility. This watch, this Hamilton, is one of the most versatile watches that I've come across. You can dress it up. You can wear it to a formal function. You can dress it down. You can put it on a bracelet. You can have it on its original leather strap. It works on a NATO. It works on various other straps, those parachute style straps it works on. Really works on anything. It is going to be the perfect watch for nearly any occasion that you come across. So versatility on the Hamilton, I'm going to give it an 8. And the versatility on the ISL 40 is also going to be pretty good. It doesn't have any polished parts that are visible, so it's not something that you're going to really dress up. I think even on a bracelet, I think you would probably struggle with wearing this to a formal function. But again, it does work wonderful on NATOs. Wonderful on its supplied strap. Yeah, it's pretty good. I think you're going to be able to use it for most every occasion, but does it beat the Hamilton in this case? I don't think it does. It's going to get a 7. And sticking with the ISL 40 for the next category, it is value. So value on this watch, $189. You're going to get 100 meters of water resistance, sapphire crystal, NH36 movement, a screw-down crown, screw-down case back. Really, really a lot of watch for very little money, really. I mean, you've seen a lot of watches that have this kind of spec for much, much more. Value on this, it's a 10 without a doubt. And value for money on the Hamilton, I think you're paying a little bit of a heritage premium, if I would be so inclined to say, depending on whether you pick this up on the bracelet or on the leather strap. It's going to run you between $300 and $400 comfortably, maybe slightly more than that on the bracelets. I think value for money for what you're getting. Again, sapphire crystal, screw-down case back. The crown does not screw down, so a little bit, of a difference there between the ISL 40. Really, for what you're getting here at the price, I think it is a good value. Entry-level Swiss-made watch at that particular price is not bad, but I'm going to go with an 8 for the Hamilton. And sticking with the Hamilton for durability. So durability for me really comes down to, how much you can beat and bang this particular watch before it has an issue. And it also has a lot to do with water resistance. So this is a 100-meter water resistant watch, but it does not have a screw down crown. And honestly, that's not a huge deal. There's many watches, many Seikos that are not screwed down, and they have 100 meters of water resistance as well. But at this price, you would expect a screw-down crown. I've heard issues of the Hamilton taking on water when this, you're swimming around and then this will pop out a little bit. It could pop out, and that would obviously ruin your watch there. Also, beating and banging on the case, no problem on the sides, but on that polished bezel, that's something that's going to take a lot of scratches. And of course, the movement, should you happen to drop it or bang it too hard and it gets out of regulation, you're sending it to Hamilton, costing you a good chunk of dough. So durability on the Hamilton, I'm going to give it a 7. And on to the ISL 40. So durability with this, Sapphire crystal, you're not going to see any scratches. There is not a polished bezel, so you're not going to see scratches there. You do have the screw down crown for 100 meters of water resistance. I think that is really a huge deal in this comparison. I would have no trouble taking this in a pool or anything, to the lake, anything that I would do. No problem at all. I think, you know, you're going to be able to beat and bang this. And again, you drop it, you shock it, you just replace the movement, 40, 50 bucks, and you're good to go again. So, man, really, durability on this one, golly, boy, it is definitely a 10. And so wearability on a wrist shot here, I'm wearing the Hamilton on the strap. The strap is not broken in yet, so you know, I don't know, it's not overly comfortable, but I use this watch on a steel bracelet and on NATO's, and that case just sinks down into your wrist. It is absolutely wonderful to wear. It is extremely thin due to the 2824 or the H10 movement there, so you can have a thinner case. The wearability on this, gosh, it is just an absolutely almost flawless wearability, and that's going to get a 10. And so with the Islander, having the curved down lugs, and they curve down pretty dramatically, it hugs your wrist really, really well. So that lug to lug is, even though it is, you know, I can't remember what it is exactly, but, you know, it is a bit larger for the case size of 39, but you really don't notice. It also hugs the wrist, but it does stand taller because of that NH36A movement. So, you know, wearability, you know, it's not going to be as easy to slide under a cuff, you know, things of that nature. But again, it is a tool watch. So, yeah, I mean, what are you really looking for there? But wearability on this one, I think, is also very good. But it doesn't beat the Hamilton. It's going to get an 8. And so the next category is strap. So this is the supplied strap that the Hamilton comes on. Very nice buckle engraved with Hamilton. You've got leather keepers. It is fully leather, really good stitching. It is very stiff. I haven't broken it in yet, but I only wore it a few times, and you can see that fourth hole there is already starting to stretch. I think that's pretty inexcusable at this price point. This is definitely a strap that I think you would want to change out, even though it is pretty good quality. Nice little Hamilton engraving there. But yeah, the strap, you know, with this one, it just really doesn't do it for me. It's going to get a 6. If you guys saw my video review of this watch, you know that I absolutely fell in love with this strap. Yes, there is a little bit of fraying, but I think it adds to the character. Really nice brushed buckle with the Long Island Watch logo there. It is weaved nylon with leather around the buckle holes, so you're not going to get too much fraying there. Wonderful leather, genuine leather on the underside. The stitching all looks good. Nice little Islander engraving there, or pressing inside of there. It is also quick release spring bars. I don't think you could ask anything more out of a watch at $189. So this strap is definitely a 9. Brand prestige. Yes, probably the most unfair category here today. Brand prestige for the Islander, it's not there yet. You know, it's a great company. It's great quality. Their customer service is really second to none. You know, Mark over there at Long Island Watch, he's one of the guys where you'd see him on YouTube, but you can also communicate with him via Instagram or email. He answers your questions. Really great customer service. I think the brand prestige of this is going to go up and up and up and up and up the more the years go by, and the more that he decides to do his own designs, because right now they're, you know, homages of, you know, different kinds of watches, homaging Seiko with some tweaks, some improvements on some Seikos. So brand prestige right there. It's not quite there yet, but his customer service is stellar. So I'm going to give him a 7. And so brand prestige on the Hamilton, well, you can't really beat it. I mean, this is a tried and true brand that was American. Now it is made in Switzerland by the Swatch Company, which is also owns Omega. So you're getting that quality there. You know, they've done military watches issued to the American military over the years. You know, if you just look at the history of Hamilton, you know, that is really a lot of the price, I think, that you're paying for some of these watches from Hamilton. But yeah, brand prestige on this one, without a doubt, is a 10. So the next category is Lume. So I'm just going to leave this right here. The Hamilton holds on decently with an initial charge, but those loomed Arabic numerals do fade relatively quickly, only leaving the hands, which arguably is all you would need. But look at that ISL 40. That is something that is really hard to beat by any watch. It is outstanding loom. Yeah. The Islander loom definitely gets a 10, and the Hamilton loom unfortunately gets a 5. So if you are keeping track at home, I'm surprised by this result. The Hamilton comes in out of a scale of 1 to 100 with an 80. And the ISL 40 from LongIslandWatch.com comes in with an 87. I did not expect it to beat the Hamilton the way that it has. I think if you could put sort of like a mishmash between the Hamilton Automatic and the Hamilton Mechanical, I think it would probably beat this watch. But value for money, it is just outstanding. And putting it next to one of Hamilton's prestigious entry-level Swiss watches wasn't exactly fair, but it held its own and it actually won. So I'm sure a lot of guys are going to rip me apart in the comments because of this, but this value for money watch, it's outstanding. Okay, guys, let me know what you thought down in the comments, and I will see you next time.